What's going on, everybody, and happy Friday. It's that time of the week. It's time for another episode of the Security Token Show. Episode 296. We're approaching 300 episodes of bringing you all of the latest real-world asset tokenization news every single week. Unfortunately, this week, Kyle couldn't make it, and we had a bit of a scheduling snafu, so we're going to have to just give you a shortened episode, but we fortunately got Nico Pantelis from Blue Bay Ventures this week, so we're going to get into the hottest and latest news. And with that, hope to catch you again next week, and happy tokenizing. And this week, I'm glad to say we've got Nico Pantelis, partner at Blue Bay Ventures, one of the leading RWA venture funds out there. Been in the game quite some time now. Always love the insights and pulse you bring to our conversation. So glad to have you back. I see instead of Dubai, you're in the Netherlands. How are you, Nico?
In the hot and summery Dubai, in the Netherlands. Yes, it's kind of hot around here nowadays, but it's okay. I'm used to Dubai, so
exactly. You can't escape the heat. Well, we've had some fun weeks without you here with Kyle, who, as you know, has not been able to make it this week, but we've been talking a lot about stablecoin activity. So much stablecoin, awesome news, especially since the Genius Act. But dare I say, the tone is shifting in the market. Stablecoins will remain hot, but it seems like something might be hotter right now, which is the underlying blockchains behind them. So it seems like Stripe, just came out with one. Arc just came out with one. We're going to get into these different blockchains. Denari's launching one. Ripple's really trying to position itself in the game. But yeah, I guess let's start there. There's an onslaught of new, what I call RWA chains, whether they're payments, stable coins, or even settlement infrastructure, right? It seems to be something that I guess these new incumbents don't think there's a useful enough solution out there today, or is it just a money grab? What do you think, Nico?
It's a margin money grab from their view, I think, at first. That's the way you see it. And they got cleared through the Genius Act. They think they're good to go, and they're also good to go with their stable coins. And now they say, hey, let's also immediately pony up an L1, like we've been doing in the past in the crypto community, ponying up L1s. But yeah, I think this is an evolution in how things evolve in the technology sphere and sectors. But history has learned that this, in essence, will not work, because these companies are financial operations. They sell financial products. They don't run decentralized L1s. That's not their core business. Their core business is to sell financial product. And that's in essence what they need to do also, and not be a distributed, decentralized network, because in essence it's not that. And it resonates with, as you know, I'm an old guy. I come from the Web1 time, when Microsoft and the likes try to do these intranets and all this funny stuff, because the bad big internet wouldn't work. Well, I have some news for all these players. The only thing where you can get network effects is in a distributed system, really distributed, and not centralized and controlled by one party. So that's my opinion. We'll see how it works out.
And it seems to be that is the touting feature set they're coming to market with, right? They're saying, look, we are the big corporation that everyone can trust, and we're going to make sure it's, centralized to the node providers and the things that we have our controls, let's say, in place, because the big bad decentralized wolf is going to bite you down the road, is, I think, maybe part of their narrative right now.
It's the same story as with the internet in the beginning days in the 90s. It was the same. It's the same. You get the same kind of quotes.
Yeah. I mean, I could certainly see this as sort of many of them saying it could be maybe like an AWS moment for like Amazon, right? They really were, just focused on e-commerce and said, hey, let's get into cloud servers, right? Maybe in this case, some of these companies are saying, let's maybe go beyond our core payments. Let's go into more infrastructure. I don't know. Makes me think that Visa or MasterCard or maybe even PayPal could soon be to follow with their own chains as well. I don't know. May not stop here, right?
No, and in essence, what these guys are building is they're building the banks of the future on a blockchain, but they will be centralized banks still, in their network, and you can pay in their networks, but the world is bigger than the Stripe L1 or the Circle L1 or the MetaMask wallet
Stablecoin and
stablecoin. It's all the same thing. But I guess it's part of the evolution. It's the same thing how the internet evolved back in the early days, and yeah, that's how it goes. We have to go through a few cycles that everybody gets the light bulb going on and saying, hey, we should be going to Ethereum L1 with our system, or we should go to Solana L1, or maybe another one at that point in time. That's probably how it will evolve.
Yeah, it's great to see that we're going to have many more companies on the front lines trying to bring adoption to this technology, right? And we know there's an emphasis on interoperability. It seems like those providers are really currently really good position based on this onslaught of new chain activity, right?
But it's good to get awareness. Yeah, it's good to get awareness for our whole industry at large. That players who were shunned to move to blockchains in the past because it was for criminals and all this mumbo jumbo that these mostly government guys have been talking about, which it's not, of course. It's getting awareness to big institutions, and that's a good thing in the end. Yes, indeed.
Is there such a thing as chains buying up other chains, and eventually we one day see a roll up?
Why not? They're companies in the
RWA assets, right? Exactly. So maybe that is something that will.
But there already you can sense the difference between an L1 from for instance Circle or Stripe, or let's say Solana. Right. Could you imagine that Solana is buying up Near or any other L1? That's you already but you can see that indeed Stripe will buy up Circle, for instance, as also with an L1. It's
fascinating. We did also see in the past, we also saw sort of not really the same thing, but, NFT collections start to get acquired in aggregate.
Yes, so, same thing. This centralized companies.
Up assets, right? Yeah, exactly. It's going to happen, folks. It's exciting. And frankly, what we're saying is what none other than Crypto Mom. This is a funny, nickname that people use for a commissioner of the SEC. I'm talking about Commissioner Hester Peirce. She has come out once again, sort of in a positive tone for the industry, hence her nickname, saying that the market will sort itself out when it comes to tokenization. And I actually think this is a really great statement because this is very different from an SEC that we used to see that sort of had their stance of this is how we view the market and we're going to enforce it this way. Whereas actually Hester Peirce is saying, hey, we're actually open to different structures. We are, as long as we follow securities laws, we're here to work with innovators and builders, which I think is kind of like a green light to the tone of, we do endorse this kind of concept of tokenization. Again, the chairman, Paul Atkins of the SEC, keeps saying, tokenization is an innovation. It's the future capital markets. Now he's saying that we need to make the crypto capital of the world America as well, right? So this is just exciting to me because this is encouraging innovation in America. And I think many people are still rightfully so a little concerned about all this. So this is great to see, just a very active, vocal, positive SEC encouraging tokenization, in my opinion here.
Yeah, this is also how capital markets should work in essence. They have to sort it out themselves, and if they make mistakes, they correct their mistakes and move on and make better products and new products. And in essence, that's also what the development of the whole industry, the blockchain industry, has been confronted in the past years on the last regime in the US, that people were afraid to develop new stuff and think about new concepts. It all stopped with NFTs in essence, and nothing came after that, and that's a pity. But let's see. It's good stuff from Mrs. Pierce. I don't know how to say it.
It's hurts for most
First,
people.
it's good stuff. It's how markets should operate, and they have to have like a top down view. And of course, if there's really bad actions going on, they should take that on. But in essence, these guys are coders, and they just want to develop new stuff and make a better world for all of us. And that's what has to blossom at large. And
I think there's, you got to be really deep in one segment of crypto not to wake up and see that RWAs, that finance is the main story narrative of crypto today, right? Just look at every major crypto company moving into RWA some way, somehow. Either they have a blockchain supporting it, or they are now creating, tokenized stocks marketplaces and other things. MetaMask or stable coins, right? Like we see with MetaMask. So it's pretty exciting, but also we know this story time and time again. We're going to see people who maybe naively, ignorantly, not on purposely, mischievously try to violate securities laws, right? They're going to still end up creating tokens that they say, hey, anybody can buy this and do that. And they're not going to necessarily follow certain rules like KYC or other things that are required still, right? Let's be clear that I support this message, and I think she's very much not saying, hey, go out and do whatever you want. We still have to follow the rules. There are still very clear rules, but they're open to working with these new structures and concepts that tokenization bring to the table, of course. Just as long as we do it the right way. But it's going to happen. It's going to be inevitable, folks. You got to do your research. You got to watch out, especially if you're buying some tokens from projects. Make sure that they are still following and working with legal counsel to make sure whatever they're doing in the tokenization space is legitimate and compliant.
Yeah. Finance is truly becoming digitized at the moment, and tokenization is the key in this whole transition, and that's what the big Larry Fink has seen. Good thing.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe one day everyone will be racing to tokenize their house. That's when
everything will be tokenized. Everything in our lives that has any kind of value will be tokenized in the future.
So when that's happening, I'm going to be very excited. Then we've hit the mainstream. But with that, Nico, I think that's all we've got this week. I don't know if there's any big updates from any of the portfolio companies or from Blue Bay Ventures itself that you want to share before we head off.
Nothing specific, in my opinion. It's a summer doldrums also in the portfolio. So no, it's I think everything is moving along. Maybe some market vibes and commentary. There's a new bull market going on. Everybody can sense that, but it's still, in my opinion, early days, because everybody is like holding back and doubtful still, and my experience being in over 10 years in blockchains is that this is only first, second, maybe third inning of the game. So treasury companies definitely seem to be part of this latest push. I think. I don't know if you think that is the ultimate. I'm not that negative, but everybody is quite negative about treasury, which is which is a thing that when you are experienced in markets, when everybody is negative about something, this will be not the thing that torments the complete bull market. It will be another thing. It's not this thing. And also from a structure, from these dots, or how they are called, the ATs, everybody forgets that these are traditional finance guys piling in, not for a quick buck, but they're just shoving in little slices of their large portfolios in these companies, and it's not for a quick gain or it's for a long-term investment mostly. So they're not jumping ship anytime soon. That's probably, in my opinion, the troubles will be in the crypto markets again in the future, when things start to get really excited and really popish and really bullish. Then probably things will collapse in the crypto markets again, and not in the traditional markets, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I think they would have to become dramatically larger to really be, part of the actual downfall or the cause. I think they're going to be a nice extension, a booster, a steroid, whatever you want to look at it, and they're going to follow their tokens. But I agree with you. I don't think they're going to be any cause for any kind of bear market in the future. And in fact, it certainly seems to be the case that it's pushing a lot of bull sentiment in this case today.
Sure, it's structural buying from these entities. The only thing that can ruin this is if these DATs become the next meme stocks on Robinhood, for instance, and everybody starts ponying up these option structures to blast these things to Valhalla, and then we have a big problem structurally. But I'm not sensing that at this moment. Maybe next year or something like that, we'll see. But in my opinion, the problems will come from another part of the market, and not the typical equity markets.
I think that will eventually be a thing, no doubt. But I agree. Hopefully, it doesn't become.
We'll see. Maybe
systemic massive problem. Fortunately, we got smart people like you that can help us call it out. And you guys, again, thanks for your time, Nico. We always appreciate your insight, and have a great weekend. We'll get you next week, and we'll keep this show going. Too.